Yo guys, Jonathan here, and this is iPhone 10. Now to clear things up, yes, it is spelled out iPhone X, but the correct pronunciation, just like Final Cut, just like Logic, is iPhone 10, the number. Now this was the first Apple event of the brand new campus too, and it was a little bit crazy. Honestly, it was probably the hardest event to actually get your hands on a device with the iPhone 8, the 8 Plus, and of course the iPhone 10. So a huge shout out to Mark, Marquez, Judner, Justine. This was kind of like this little collab tech team to get any kind of footage we can using all of our resources. I did manage to get some hands-on footage of both the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus, so if that's a comparison you want to see, let me know by dropping a like down below. And also, if you guys maybe want to see an iPhone 10 giveaway, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on that. So as far as the iPhone 10, it is a really pretty phone. There's two colors, space gray and silver. I'm kind of leaning towards silver right now. It looks super classy, but regardless of whatever color you go with, both of them have black fronts, which makes sense with that edge-to-edge display. Now, as far as the edge-to-edge panel, it is a 5.8-inch display packed inside what is really closer to an iPhone 7, now of course iPhone 8 body, so you're getting a much larger display and much more screen real estate than even the iPhone 7 Plus or 8 Plus, but it's sandwiched inside a smaller container. So diving a little deeper into this display, it's what Apple is calling their Super Retina display. It's packing a resolution of 2436 by 1125, and for you pixel nerds out there, that is a PPI of 458. Nothing really groundbreaking here as far as the resolution goes, but what is pretty impressive is the fact that we finally have an OLED panel to the iPhone. That was maybe rumored to happen in 2018, so the fact that it's here now is awesome, and if you've ever experienced OLED, it is a beautiful thing. Now the one thing you're probably thinking is that is a giant display, where is the home button? And unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, depending on how things work out, that home button is no more. Rest in peace, that is completely gone from the iPhone 10. So the way you unlock your iPhone 10 is simply just swiping up, and this also double functions to go back home. So if you're inside an app, swipe up and that's going to bring you right home. Now on top of that, if you actually swipe up and pause slightly, that's going to bring you into multitasking mode. It's a little weird to get used to at first, but once you do, I can see it being pretty fluid. Conversely, if you now want to access Control Center, that is definitely a little different. It's actually a downward diagonal swipe from the top right-hand corner. Again, definitely going to take some time to get used to, but it works really well with the bigger form factor display. From there, you're probably wondering, how do I unlock my phone now that Touch ID is gone? Apple's replacing that with what they are calling Face ID. Essentially, it is facial recognition to unlock your phone. Trust me, I fully realize this isn't anything new. I know Samsung pushed it last year with the Note 7, then this year with the S8, S8 Plus, and now Note 8, but it does look like Apple took some time to really execute this well. They threw some number out there, like the chance of breaking through randomly through Touch ID was 1 in 50,000, and I believe Face ID, the chance of breaking that was like 1 in a million. So if it is that accurate, it is definitely a good thing. Now, as far as what's packed inside the iPhone 10, it's what Apple is calling their A11 Bionic chip, which sounds... in a nutshell, that is 6 total cores, 2 and then 4, and that's paired with a tri-core GPU. So this thing is supposed to be really, really powerful. What's interesting though is this is actually the same exact processor packed inside both the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus. So even though you are kind of getting a downgrade there at a lower price point, it's still nice to know that you do have that power packed inside those as well. Now, as far as the cameras on the iPhone 10, this is a dual camera system laid out vertically as opposed to horizontally on the iPhone 8 Plus. Dual 12 megapixel sensors, but what's unique here, and actually isn't new because Samsung just rolled this out with Note 8, is both lenses feature OIS. Now, why that's important is because it's going to help in stabilization, obviously, but more importantly, low light and just getting an overall cleaner, better image. A really big thing for Apple at this event for both the iPhone 8 Plus and the iPhone 10, because of those dual lenses, is portrait mode. On top of the improved optics, there's also improved software. So with both the iPhone 8 Plus and the iPhone 10, Apple's introducing what they are calling portrait lighting. It's kind of hard to really explain and demonstrate just with a couple minutes with the phone, but the general idea is you now have control to mess with the lighting and adjust it just like you would in a studio, and this applies both pre and post photo. Beyond that, there is now portrait mode on the front-facing camera, which I think is actually a huge deal. It's a 7 megapixel shooter, so you're getting some increased sharpness, but the big thing here is because of their true depth technology for the facial unlock, that's going to reap benefits for the front-facing camera and photos as well. So this is also something that applies to the iPhone 8 Plus. Here's a quick demo of how that looks. You can see how you can adjust things post-photograph, and I'm actually really excited to check this out in more detail detail. From there, with the power of both the cameras and the actual power inside these iPhones, the big thing this year and the focal point was augmented reality. Got a little bit of a chance to check things out. It's a little bit crazy. I've never been a huge fan of VR, but I can really see myself digging in, having fun with augmented reality. And both the iPhone 8, 8 Plus, and the iPhone 10 seem to pull it off really well because they're all using that A11 chip. Now, I don't have exact specifics as far as the battery capacity goes with the iPhone 10, but Apple's claiming 2 more hours than the iPhone 7, so it's nice to know that you're kind of getting iPhone 7 Plus, iPhone 8 Plus battery life on a much smaller form factor, but with that bigger display, you're getting the best of both worlds. Now, one huge implementation across the board across all iPhones, whether it's the iPhone 8, 8 Plus, or the iPhone 10, as a wise man, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson once said, finally, wireless charging is here through the wireless Qi standard. Now, I get it. I am bracing myself for you keyboard warriors out there who are going to yell at me and say, what the hell? That's been around for 58 years. That's not new. For the record, I am not stating this is new or some kind of witchcraft or Apple invented it. I'm just simply letting you know it is now available across all iPhones. And again, the biggest thing for me here is, minus Apple's slightly silly name, was their Air Power wireless charging mat, which allows you to charge everything at once. Your iPhone, your Apple Watch, surprisingly AirPods, so it looks like there's a wireless charging case coming for that soon. Yes, sir. But aside from that, I think rather than looking at this like a negative, if you are on that side of the team where you feel like you've had wireless charging forever, this is actually a good thing because it's going to open up a wider adoption, and that is always a good thing. Lastly, kind of round out everything as far as storage and pricing goes, the iPhone 10 is either coming in a 64 gig or 256 gigabyte flavor. Unfortunately, that means no 512, but it's going to start out at $999. Pre-order starts October 27th, and then it will finally ship November 3rd. So we've got a little bit of time ahead of us. So that is iPhone 10 in a nutshell. Thank you guys very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this hands-on. Again, if you have not subscribed, you probably want to do that. Turn on notifications because there's going to be an iPhone 10 giveaway very soon. I would love to hear your favorite feature on the iPhone 10. Drop me a line down below. This is Jonathan, and I'll catch you guys later.